As a defibrillator with a Wi-Fi.
Let's hack it.
Can someone have
He disconnected. He disconnected, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the same issue.
Did you want to comment?
It's turned off with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad.
So I'm going to take this to a completely different level. So there are 17 competing standards organizations right now for IoT, right? So OpenM2M, the Open Internet Consortia, IEEE has committed that in 2016 that they'll publish their first iteration of a standard. TIA has a standard. You're a consumer person, so Thread would be something for you, right? I'm sure you're familiar with Thread.
I'm not familiar with Thread. Sorry.
Thread is the appliance consumer-based IoT standard. So we have 17 standards, and we all talk about how open standards are good. Like, how important is it to have concise standards, or is this the wild, wild west and we should just, should we just go for this? And if we all remember back, and I learned how to program using punch cards, but on Fortran in the 70s, but unfortunately, it took forever to do standards for, let's say, Cat 5. I remember how long that took to a standard, or 802.11a, b, and g took forever to do that standard. Are we going to wait? Are we going to go? And what does that mean? And Michael, that's probably really good for you.
Yeah, I'm ready to answer. So only 17 standards? Really?
No, it's 17 standards bodies, yes.
Okay. There is two standards that have won: JSON and REST. Do we need any more? That levels the playing field. That gives us a textual data format to exchange information between systems, and a standard post and get protocol for exchanging data. I mean, so those standards that you're talking about are trying to get into the minutiae of how do I discover a device in the network, and how do I configure it, and so on. You know what, quite frankly, that's going to be proprietary. In the consumer space, Google's going to own theirs, Apple's going to own theirs. So I really don't care about consumer standards, because that's going to be driven. The big guys who are providing the full solution are going to have their own. In the commercial and industrial world,
because the consumer, because most of the people say consumer and is going to be completely surpassed by 2017.
I don't. And I have a chip on my shoulder. Okay, so I always say what I mean and mean what I say. I don't care about those standards. We have JSON and REST, and that is the work of decades of internet applications and services figuring out the simplest, most elegant way to exchange data, and it works. And it works very well. And every single IoT platform, cloud platform that I know that has their head on straight supports REST. And that breaks down the data silos. I'm waiting for, in the premises, for a building automation server to stop the craziness and just have a REST API. And then we're done. But they want to. There are some really good legacy standards in the commercial industrial world that aren't going away. BACnet is actually a very good standard. It's actually an excellent standard. Now, the legacy manufacturers like to bastardize it and not fully support it, so that you have to go back to their proprietary platform to get all the functionality. But BACnet was invented about the time that the internet was being invented, and it's an extremely good open standard protocol for server automation systems to communicate on a single platform, and it's ridiculously easy to convert to IoT. So, I quite frankly, in the commercial industrial world, I think there are some really good standards already there that adhere to data formats and so on. It makes it very easy to translate. So I'm not too worried about it in the commercial industrial world either. I'm not holding my breath or waiting for the standards at all. But that's just my opinion.
One quick follow-up. Does it matter with the new IoT wireless standards like waitlist and LoRaWAN and low LTE?
Do we really need another wireless standard?
There's like 6 of them.
Isn't there Wi-Fi?
No, Wi-Fi has some security issues.
So is every other wireless protocol.
But it also
going to fix them.
But
Never bet against Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and the internet. People said that I was there when Token Ring was going to kill Ethernet, because the internet was too slow, right? And you know, Wi-Fi will catch up. You can put security, you know, and it's a commodity. It's what's going to drive wireless and wired connectivity is the cost, not a new protocol. We don't need a new network layer protocol. For God's sake, let's stop doing that and let's stick with the ones we have and make them better. I'm sorry. Applause.
Right, Paul?
Yeah, I'd just like to comment. I do believe Jason Perez basically for data standardization. I think it's, let's keep it simple. I'm a big believer in that. I would, however, challenge, it's a bit off topic here, but it is where the data comes from. It's going to be a lot of wireless. Wi-Fi is not the same. Wi-Fi has a problem that only removal of 3-foot of concrete will solve. And if you know what I mean, it has to do with wireless signal propagation. So I would agree, Bluetooth has its place. Maybe even Zigbee. I heard somebody earlier say just go ahead and put a dagger in it. Might have to agree on that. Certainly Bluetooth low energy, the things we're seeing there. I think Wi-Fi is definitely not one of the way it has range of business applications, but there's a reason why the Navy talks to submarines at sub 1K.
Sure.
Okay, and there's a reason why LP LAN is generally acknowledged to be something that's only going to work at sub 1 gig, and do the math, Wi-Fi is 2.4 of that. So there is this issue with signal propagation and wireless. And I would like to Pete's point, he did mention when he was talking standards.
Let me-
Data standards he was talking
Let me stop you
about.
there. Let me stop you there. So as far as needing a standard, internet standard that talks internet protocol, Wi-Fi is there. We don't need to create a standard the whole industry is going to adopt for solving the low or the short haul connectivity, you know, between non-internet communicating devices. We don't need standards there because they're not going to be adopted. They're going to be proprietary for a long time, and something will win. It's going to be Betamax versus whatever. I don't think that IoT industry needs to go focus on creating a new non-internet communicating protocol. Let's focus on the internet protocol, network layer stuff. Let's standardize on that and let industry go and figure out the best technology for providing low bandwidth or low short haul, short distance wireless connectivity. I don't think that the industry needs to adopt a standard there for IoT to take off. I think we just need good technologies to solve that problem and tie it into something that talks to the internet as soon as possible.
Any closing comments, Jeanette?
Why don't we start this way?
Okay, all right. Yasser, I'm sorry. Yeah, I kind of hit you hard. We're going to wrap up here. So Yasser, anything you want to say?
I think the closing comments I would have is this is a great time to be in this playing field. So there's a lot of new blood, new technologies and new innovations coming through. And the way our lives are going to be affected in the next 10 years is going to be something we cannot even comprehend right now. So there's big change happening because of, you know, big data analytics, machine learning, Internet of Things, and all of them together.
I'm dominating. You talked about that?
My voice needs a rest.
So I think, I definitely think big data is finally starting to make more sense when people say that big data is the future. So I think this is a huge opportunity. I think 5 years when people were saying big data was a huge opportunity, no one knew what that meant because mostly people were just collecting the data, not actually doing anything with it. So I think the next wave of this and what we're going to see IoT really doing is it's going to be working on in the background. It's not necessarily going to be you go to the store, buy a device, download an app, and then all of a sudden you have an IoT. And I think that's why people are really having a challenge, particularly venture capitalists, having a challenge in seeing these opportunities because they're seeing one single place, whereas really what's going to change this space is going to be platforms. So not to plug Vinly, but I'll give you an example. I mean, why Vinly is special and has done so well is it is a platform. It's attracted developers. They're building apps. There's over 200 applications on the system with one device. So one device, 200 apps. I think the biggest opportunity we're going to see in the next 5 years is how do we get rid of apps, right? So how do we how can you have Internet of Things and how can you provide a service to people without having them to actually have an application on their phone? And so when that is solved, that is going to be the biggest moneymaker. And if you want to go ahead and invest and make money, look for those opportunities.
Excellent.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've said that all along, that apps with Internet of Things make app stores go away because you can't possibly manage apps on 20 different things in your personal and business life. So thank you. I forgot about that.
Excellent.
But real quick summary.
Yeah.
Internet of Things is here. It's happening. The consumer space is going to take on a world of its own. I believe it's going to be owned by the Apples, the Samsungs, the Googles. I don't see it as being a huge startup opportunity. But I will say in the commercial industrial spaces where all of you guys are dealing with data today, it's huge and it's going to definitely, we're seeing the impact of it now. We're going to see a lot more in the near future.
Excellent. Please join me.
We are going to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and hear our 3:15 speaker. So.